Hello and welcome. I'm going to say short. It could be any length, as you know from my waffles, but welcome to another short book review. This time, it's this one released by Moon Books, Wolf, Untamed, Courageous, Empowered, an inspirational guide to embodying your inner wolf by Rachel S. Roberts. Absolutely brilliant book, really. So I'll start by saying that I've had, from the very first moment that I realised where my spirituality, I'd go back even further actually, but yes, the first meditation I ever did, which is a very long time ago, the first thing that came to me was a wolf, a lovely big grey wolf, who I can actually still feel beside me. I feel him all the time. He's been with me. He's been with me all my life. If I go back even further, dogs. I always thought before I met my wolf that my connection was with my dog, who I really shouldn't be able to remember because she was put down. She was elderly when I was born, so I was only about two and a half when she had to go over to the Rainbow Ridge. So I always thought that it was her that I could feel around me, and and now I know that she is still around me. She used to guard me. She was a mixture of an Alsatian and a Corgi, so she was extremely feisty. So I know that her energy can appear around me sometimes. The energy that I thought was her all the time, as I became more aware of the differences, actually, yes, she can be there, but most of the time it's actually this lovely big grey wolf who is actually just here with me now. Because when I started reading this book, my wolf thought it was absolutely hilarious because I was getting so many light bulb. Oh my goodness, really? Why didn't I know this beforehand? My main goddesses that I work with are the Morrigan and Ellen of the Ways, both of whom are in this book. Morrigan, I'd sort of realised because wolf is one of her creatures that she shapeshifts into. So I'd sort of put that one together. But Ellen of the Ways, I hadn't made that connection. Odin, Freya, all the ones that I've been interested in have a link to wolf, and I hadn't clocked onto it. So many light bulb moments in this book. It was anyway. This book was released on the 30th of September, and normally, as any of you that would have noticed before, I've managed to actually do this before now. But because I got so into this book and I wanted to read it and delve into it and look at it, this is now a little bit late coming out because it's already out. It's out there. It was released on the 30th. Available from all good book shops and Amazon, obviously. And there is a blog to go along with this as well. But I wanted to come on and tell you how brilliant this book is. The author is not dictatorial. She is very encouraging. She's very, I'd almost say nurturing. And I think that is because she does say at the end, I'll come to that whole chapter, the beginning of chapter 9. And I tried to be sensible and organised and put my little thingies in. So where is it? It's not right at the end. Is it this one? Yes. So Grandmother Wolf has been guiding her in writing this book, and that very much comes across. The energy of this book is very nurturing. It is very encouraging. There is a little bit of, for me, because I'm used to the energy of wolf, there's a little bit of, well, really? Why, it's taken you this long to realise this? And, as I say, my wolf's always sniggering at me most of the time that I was reading this, and it was just very amusing. Quite a nice book. I think, did I say there was about 300 pages? Yeah, just under 300 pages, broken into 3 sections. making it a lovely, simple, concise flow. It flows. The book flows really well. There's obviously an introduction. The author then provides you with an opening of sacred space. Beautifully simple, eloquent, so that when you start to, even I did it when I started reading the book, when I opened it and I read the introduction, then I got to this bit, I actually did this before I carried on the rest of the book. And she just says to light a candle, sit or lie comfortably, breathe deeply, and then to speak aloud or read this opening invocation, prayer, or manifesto, whatever you want to call it. And it's a beautiful way to actually open yourself up, allow the energy to come through. You don't have to do it. Obviously, if you've never worked with wolf energy before, you may not be ready for that. You may want to read the book first and then come back to this. But it is just and it was just beautiful. And it opened my eyes, my way, for just, as I say, so many light bulb moments. It's almost embarrassing to say. Part 1 is all about discovering wolf. So it's about the history, from wild warrior wolf to the goddess's lapdog is one of the chapters. Good or bad wolf? And then the dog and the wolf. Also then at the end of that, it's themes of healing and inspiration that can be found in mythology. So there's the history, there's the mythology, there's the folklore, all in the first section. Part 2 is knowing wolf. So it's getting to know them, getting to understand the energy and how to recognize that energy, their essence, the archetypes, and linking the wolves to the different elements, the goddesses and the gods. As I say, that was like, really? Okay. And then the last chapter in that section is about the great wolf Fenrir. I think that's how you say it. The ancient myth retold from a modern empowerment. This book is very much about looking, it's sort of like a shadow workbook, but you've got the support of the energy of the wolf to do it. It's letting you howl. That's one of the things that she actually says in here. It's opening you up to let you be you, and to know that, yeah, some people find you too much. Some people find you not enough. You'll never please everyone all of the time. But if you're you, then actually you will find your place in the pack. You will find it. You will be given it. You will just be with your tribe the way you are meant to be, rather than being the chameleon and trying to please this group and that group and this people and those people and whatever else. Very, very strong sense of being. There's lots of doing as well in the book. There's suggestions for meditations. There's lots of doings to guide you to being, is how I've interpreted it and just loved it. Part 3 is basically most of the doing bit. So it's about being wolf. It's about embracing that side of our characters and knowing that we will find our place. It may not be the place we thought, but we will find our tribe. We will find the people who accept us for us and how we fit in with that group. So tools and practices. Now, was this one of the ones that I highlighted? I think it might have been. Let me just... Was it? Nope. Yeah, there it is. Yes, so tools and practices of the wolf. There's an introduction. So introductory ways to connect to wolf. There's physical and emotional ways, spiritual ways, deepening your practice, sacred time, looking at the archetypes, archetypal times to connect to particular pack themes. So, for instance, I'll just say autumn, the author suggests, is the time of the lone wolf, whereas spring is the time of the birth of pups. So yeah, that's in, it's just, there is a full wolf moon ritual for empowerment included. And then there's tools. So there's colours that were associated, sacred numbers, essential oils, flower and tree essences, primary related chakras, there's astrology, there's the elements, there's allies. And again, this was another one. The very first ally, Raven Crow. For goodness sake, that's another one of my animals. And it's just, really, snake, another one of my animals. It just brilliant. And then there's the offerings. So milk, blood. Now, obviously, that can be any sort of blood. It can be a pin prick from a finger or a thumb, can be menstrual, but yeah, all sorts. Talismans. Having a wolf's tooth talisman is quite interesting. And then there's crystals, herbs, herbal tea mixes, and there's a chicken bone broth recipe, a wolf way of life, which is interesting. Intuitive eating, because wolves only eat what they need, and actually they're omnivorous, which I found quite. I didn't find it surprising, but I hadn't realised just how omnivorous they were, in that they will eat berries and vegetation, possibly more than I thought they would. So yeah, nap time, because obviously wolves like a nap time, and how to use that. Boundaries, very strong on boundaries. And then this chapter. So having had your invocation, prayer, manifesto at the beginning to open you up, you now have a whole chapter. Chapter 9 is invocations and affirmations. So there are 11 affirmations and then the invocations. So you've got Grandfather Wolf, you've got the Warrior Wolf. I won't read them all out because it's literally a whole chapter. Elemental Wolf, Mother Wolf, Throat Chakra Clearing Prayer. Just an amazing book. And as you know, I am going to sing the praises of the further resources and the bibliography. So there are several pages. I'm not going to count them. There are several pages. So the bibliography is all of that. Included are online resources as well, which is brilliant. And there are a whole page of end notes to look at that are relevant to the different bits in the book. There's also links to wolf support groups throughout the world, which is wonderful. And right at the very start of this, so I've gone backwards on this, is further resources. So you've got links to her website and her YouTube. Having said that, last night I saw that she just released one of her YouTube, I think it was on the Grandmother Wolf. Don't quote me on that, because I haven't actually watched it. I just saw the thing ping up. So she's actually released one of the invocations on her YouTube channel. And she's got a Facebook page as well. But there's, as I say, further resources if you should wish to, and the bibliography if you want to dive into anything in a bit more detail, like I will be doing. I hope this has been useful. I have waffled on an awful lot more, but as you can tell, I really enjoyed this book. It is. Yeah, I know. Okay, my wolf is just behind me going, yeah, about time. So yeah, thank you for anybody that's watched. If you get the book, make a comment what you think of it. But yeah, if you're interested, highly recommend. As I say, it's available from all good bookshops. You can get it directly from Collective Inc., the Moon Books publisher. You can get it from Amazon, all good bookshops. Yeah, as I say, come into the comments. Let me know if this has been useful. Let me know if you get the book, what you think of it. And I will see you next